Our next guest spoke out at a special meeting at the region against some of the restrictions, well, the latest restrictions actually put on the restaurant industry under COVID-19. Mark Wood from Grantham House, your delegation at that meeting and why it was so important for you to be heard.
Initially, it started by just wanting to make sure that somebody knew that there was an opposition and that there were people out there. And then it actually picked up a little more steam when we realized that a lot of the Niagara regional councillors were on our side. So it just made sense for someone to stand up and act like the voice of a group of people that tend not to be particularly unified most of the time. But someone needed to stand up and say something. And this is all I've ever done my entire life. And thankfully, I know a lot of good people in this industry that asked me to stand up and speak on their behalf.
You've been adamant since March, too, that this isn't just about you and your livelihood, but about all your employees. And many of them you have not even been able to call back since you laid them off in March.
We initially laid off every single employee across the board on March 17th. When we went to takeout and delivery, I was able to bring back maybe 10% of them. We got up to in the summer there when things looked like they were going reasonably up to about 50% of the staff we had prior to March 16th. And now, thanks to unnecessary government interference, where I'm going back to laying more people off before Christmas. So at this point, it's a question of how slow do things need to get before I just lock the doors and wait it out.
When you see someone like this restaurant owner, this barbecue in the Toronto area, who's defying the rules, have you ever been approached by anybody else, any other restaurant owners, to try and do something similar?
There's a lot of people out there that think this is the right way to go. And I'm not necessarily saying it's not. I think that unfortunately, Adam presented himself in a very aggressive, negative light during the end of what he was trying to do, which I think unfortunately put shine kind of a bad light on what he was getting at. I think too many people are quick to judge people when they don't understand what it's like to show up to work every day and not know whether or not today is the day your business is going to go under, or if today is the day you're not going to be able to pay the bills anymore. So I think he presented himself in the most professional manner? By no means did he, but there's been times in the last 7 months I haven't either.
Is it the fact that the Niagara region is only allowing people from the same household and essential caregivers to gather together in small groups of 4? Is that the sticking point?
The idea behind closing a restaurant at 9 p.m. is ridiculous. I don't know what they think happens between 9 and 10 or 10 and 11. I realize that they're trying to penalize bars and nightclubs in that aspect, but that rule doesn't make any sense at all. The household one also doesn't make sense. And as much as the doctor came out and said he refused to overturn his order, he did come out with a ridiculous definition of who qualified as a personal support worker. So realistically, almost anyone can come in and sit down at a table of 4 at this point. Tables of 4 aren't bad. But it's not even just the specifics of the regulations. Every time they come out and add another regulation to the list, it causes panic and confusion. So the general public that's not as aware of what's going on as we are is afraid to come out, because the only thing they're hearing is the reading between the lines. They just keep hearing that restaurants are dangerous. Restaurants are dangerous. Restaurants are dangerous. So I'm just here to fight that. Restaurants aren't dangerous. Restaurants are a safer place to eat than most people's homes. So if you're out somewhere where you don't feel comfortable, I get it. But the fact that they're painting us with this brush as if somehow the government's already got some sort of narrative in place that they're trying to forcefully play out is very disturbing, because some of these new regulations, there's just no grounds for. If you want to take down the number of people in a building because you have concerns about virus contamination, I can stand behind that. I'm not an anti-masker. I wear my mask. I'll do whatever I have to help make sure that the world's a safe place to be in right now. But adding stupid, foolish rules like the 9 o'clock thing, or like the household thing, like people can hang out with anybody they want all day long without masks on and wander around Costco's and grocery stores and the LCBO. But the minute they sit down inside of a restaurant, that makes them a danger to society somehow. Like, there's zero logic in that whatsoever. And even they know it, unfortunately. So it kind of creates a situation where I want to be perceived as somebody that's playing by the rules, but some of the rules are just stupid. Someone needs to open their mouth and remind people that, blind obedience of government regulation is not necessarily the way to go. And it's not what Canada was founded on.